To begin, get a small saucepan and add enough water to cover 1 egg. Place that pan onto your stove and bring it to a boil. I don't need to tell most of you how to boil an egg, but one trick I like to do is to give your egg a little shake before putting it in the water. This centers the yolk. Okay, cook that for as long as you like. I want a semi-soft yolk, so for me that's 7 minutes and 30 seconds. After 7.5 minutes, it's time to take this egg off the heat. I like to place it into a container, then cover it in ice and run enough water over it to just cover it. Let that chill for 10 minutes. Back to the stovetop, and into a small saucepan goes 1 tablespoon or 10 grams of Tamari soy sauce, 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of mirin, 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of sugar, and 1 tablespoon or 10 grams of water. Place that onto a low heat and stir until the sugar has dissolved. We are not looking to boil this at all, just to dissolve the sugar. It should take around 30 seconds to 1 minute. This is the marinade for the egg. Pour that into a bowl or something to cool down whilst we peel the egg. Once again, I probably don't need to tell most of you how to peel an egg, but the easiest way I find is to tap the bottom of the egg and then just work the edge of my thumb between the shell and the white, occasionally dipping into the water. Now grab a Ziploc bag, get your egg, shake off some of the water, but it doesn't matter if a little is in there, and place it inside the bag. Get your marinade. It should be quite loose like this. If yours is thicker, then just add a splash of water to loosen it. Pour that in with your egg, close your Ziploc bag 95% of the way, then just squeeze out as much of the air as you can. This is a great method to marinate anything. It uses minimal marinade and is achievable without a vacuum packing machine. Place that into your fridge for at least 1 hour or up to 2 days. Next, into a medium-sized saucepan goes 150 grams or 5.3 ounces of Japanese short grain rice, widely known as sushi rice. Choosing the right saucepan is key here. You don't want to have the rice too piled up on the base of the pan. 3 grains high maximum. This may seem a bit over the top, but for me this is one of the most important steps of cooking this rice. Then over to the sink, and the next most important step is to rinse the starch off the outside of this rice. I like to do this in 3 stages. Pour in enough water to cover the rice and gently start to massage it. Your water will turn cloudy very quickly. After 2 minutes of massaging, pour this water away, then pour in the same amount again and repeat this process of massaging gently for 2 minutes. I see lots of people doing this online with gallons of water. It's not necessary. The massaging and the time massaged is what releases the starch. Pour that water away and add the same amount one last time. Massage for 2 minutes again and pour the rice through a strainer and shake off a bit of that excess water. Follow all these steps and you'll have fluffy, perfectly cooked rice. Skip them or half do them and you'll have mush. Put the rice back into the pan, making sure there's no little puddles of water in the bottom. Now add exactly 260 grams or 9.17 ounces of water. I really recommend doing this recipe in grams for accuracy. And half a teaspoon of salt. Place a lid on and over to the stove, where we are going to leave this rice to sit and soak for 30 minutes. Half an hour later and the rice has changed in appearance a little. The grains have gone from slightly translucent to a solid white colour. Now turn the pan onto a high heat and bring the rice to a boil. One note is that I'm using the smaller burner on my stovetop. Once boiling, turn the heat to low and cook for another 6 to 10 minutes. Don't be tempted to take the lid off. We need all that steam in the pan. These glass lids are useful for seeing what's going on. After 7 minutes, my rice is ready to come off. You can see there are just a few bubbles forming at the bottom still. If you don't have glass lids, then listen out for a slight frying sound like this. The rice is not cooked at this point, so we're going to leave it to sit and steam in the pan to finish cooking for 15 minutes. 15 minutes later and the rice is cooked. Now get a tray or a plate and really carefully scoop the rice out onto the tray and spread it out a little so the rice cools down. This rice is super sticky, so this can be a little frustrating, but persevere and be gentle so you break the grains as little as possible. Take a look, we have nice fluffy individual grains of rice, perfect for sushi, donburi or this onigiri that we're making today. The only difference is I would have added some rice wine vinegar to the cooking water if I was making sushi. Okay, whilst the rice is cooling, let's quickly make the other filling, which is tuna mayo. This is one of the most popular fillings for onigiri as a day-to-day snack in Japan. Here I have a small tin of tuna. It will be 90 grams, just under 4 ounces once drained. So drain that through a strainer and leave it to sit whilst we prepare the mayonnaise part of this tuna mayo. Into a mixing bowl goes 30 grams, just over 1 ounce of Kewpie mayonnaise. This is a Japanese mayonnaise and it's very rich in flavour compared to regular Western mayonnaises. You don't have to use this if you don't have it. Your favourite store-bought mayonnaise will be fine. Following that, a small amount of wasabi. If you don't like it, skip it. And finally, a few drops of lemon juice. Mix all that together and add in your tuna. You want this tuna mayo to not be too wet, so drain the tuna well. Time to build these onigiris. I'm going to start by weighing how much rice I have. Get a small bowl of water and wet your fingers when handling this rice. This helps it to not stick. Okay, I've got 340 grams in total, so I'm going to use between 110 to 120 grams for each onigiri. We will start with the soy marinated egg version. My egg has been marinating for 2 hours. Next, some seasoning from my vegan prawn cracker video. This is just equal parts of finely chopped nori, sesame seeds and salt. 2 strips of nori, a piece of cling film or plastic wrap, and a bowl to mix the rice in. I'm going to start by wetting my fingers and putting 1/3 of the rice into the other bowl. Then I'm adding a good pinch of that nori seasoning, wetting my fingers again and gently mixing the rice with the seasoning. Now place that onto the plastic wrap and pat it down into a circle. Then place the egg on top and pull the sides of the plastic wrap up to encase the egg completely in rice. This is a similar process as making a scotched egg if you have ever done that. Cup the egg and rice in your hands and form it into a larger egg shape with gentle pressure. We don't want to break the yolk, but we do want to compress the rice enough so it sticks together. Now unwrap the onigiri and wrap the nori strips around the middle like a sort of belt. One wasn't quite enough, so I'll use both. If it's not sticking, then dab a little water on the nori and it will stick. This is not only a way of decorating the onigiri, but it also gives you somewhere to hold it whilst eating it. Onto the tuna version. Here I have the tuna mayo, some diced avocado, this is 1/6 of an avocado in a large dice, and some toasted sesame seeds. Take 1/3 of your rice and add a good pinch of sesame seeds, a light pinch of salt, and a dash of sesame oil, around 1/2 teaspoon. Wet your fingers slightly and mix all that together and place it onto the cling film, this time shaping it into a rough triangle. Now place in some tuna mayo. I use 1/3 of what's in my bowl and a few pieces of avocado on top of that. When pulling this one together, bring each corner of the triangle up and fold it into the center. This way you'll maintain that triangle shape. Now gently compress that again on the sides and faces of the triangle until you have a shape that you're happy with, something like this. The sesame in this one smells amazing and will be a great combination with the tuna and avocado. On to the last flavor, which is going to be wasabi, soy and toasted sesame with no filling. So here I have 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame seeds, 1/2 teaspoon of sesame oil, a small amount of wasabi, 2 teaspoons of Tamari soy sauce, and a little strip of nori. To build this onigiri this time, we will start with the wasabi, the soy, and the sesame oil. Mix all of them together, then add the rice and the sesame seeds. Mix all that gently with a spoon, then turn it out onto the plastic wrap and shape it into a triangle shape. Because we are not trying to encase anything in the middle of this onigiri, we can just fold up the sides however we like to keep that triangle shape. Then just gently and gradually push it together until you have a shape that you're happy with. Wrap the piece of nori around the bottom, once again decoration and somewhere to hold it whilst eating it. And there we have 3 different types of onigiri. They smell amazing. If you're a sushi fan, then you'll absolutely love these. The possibilities are endless with fillings and flavorings, so let your creativity run wild. I hope you try them soon. And of course, we need to see that yolk. Onigiri isn't really meant for slicing as the rice is so sticky, but we have to see that yolk. It's a rule. Just set around the edges with the yolk perfectly centered. That shaking trick works every time. As always guys, ingredients, equipment list and links to other videos all in the description box below. Alright guys, and that's that. Go check out this video for the nori seasoning and I'll see you next time.